I'm here in my studio with my fancy new camera, but what I'm more interested in is knowledge. See these shelves of books I have here? That would be a funny video, wouldn't it? But no, what I'm more interested in telling you about today is what I found to be true in terms of what makes a great photographer over a meh photographer. Today's video is sponsored by Skillshare. Now, if you head on to a well-known photography website and have a quick scroll through, and then close your eyes, I bet you can't remember a single image you've just seen. They are all mediocre. Maybe perfectly executed mediocre, but they are all mediocre. I'm about to partake in a very expensive test shoot soon, and the way that I'm going to make sure that it doesn't suck is the information we're giving you in this video here. The difference between great photographers and those that you've just seen splattered through this website or just scrolled through, and apologies if this is your work, it just all happens to have Creative Commons license so I can use it. But the difference is understanding subject matter. The difference is knowing what it is you're photographing. The difference between a fashion photographer and a great fashion photographer is that one of them understands fashion. The difference between a great cycling photographer and someone who photographs cyclists is that one of them lives and breathes cycling. Understanding your subject matter is more important than understanding photography. Having something to say, having a voice, having something original trumps any amount of camera gear and any amount of technical know-how. And I know this because I have reviewed thousands of photographers' websites and portfolios. As an agent, when I work at Agents at Large, we're currently looking for a particular photographer to fill a gap in our roster. I can't tell you how many websites I've been through to look at mundane, average, boring work, or technically perfect work where they don't understand the subject matter. And believe me, the client doesn't give a damn about your technically perfect work. All they care about is, do you understand the subject matter? Now, of course, this is not to say don't worry about learning photography, but most rubbish photographers have spent too long learning photography and not enough time learning the subject matter. Of course, you could spend too much time learning about the subject matter and not enough in photography. However, there's a good fix for that, and that's called a crew. When we're doing big shoots, you better believe my Digitech knows how the camera and computer works. My retoucher knows how retouching works. My lighting assistant, they've got my lights covered for me. Everybody knows their thing. I understand when the moment is right, when the setup is perfect, when everything is as it should be, not for a perfect photograph, but to perfectly photograph what the subject matter is, and for the subject matter to be perfect. The amount of weddings I see where people are sharing all the photographs, and the one which ends up being the bride's profile picture is not by the photographer, it's by one of their friends on an iPhone because they made them look good. The photographer had the bokeh, they had the cool preset edit, whatever it may be, the off-camera flash, but their mate didn't make the nose look wonky.
Skillshare is the largest online learning community for creatives with thousands of classes led by industry experts across film, illustration, design, freelance, productivity, and more. Skillshare can help you with your career, skills, hobbies, passions, or side hustles, taking them to the next level. Skillshare also has Learning Paths, which is a unique, curated and sequential class collections which help you master the skill in a logical order. And Skillshare has just announced some exciting new improvements. They have created new and improved class systems, including smarter class categories, 3 class topics, creative careers, creative inspiration, and AI and innovation, and the ability to find classes by software and material. So if you're not sure what you're looking for within Photoshop, you can just go and learn Photoshop, which is really what I need to be doing. The first 500 people to use my link in the description below will receive a 1-month free trial of Skillshare. Get started today.
And there's lots of things you can learn about, like for this YouTube channel, for example. Rather than me learning how to do more photography stuff to tell you about, I'm learning how to tell you about it better. Good boy, drop it. I could do better lighting, I could do better color grading, better audio. But what's more important in this context is teaching you and how I can learn to teach you better. So I'm watching the MKB HD YouTube crash course over there because there's like script writing and all the rest of it. And you know, learning more than just the tech is key. The difference between those two things is what makes a great photographer and a good photographer. Most people can execute an exposure. Years ago, before I was on YouTube, I did with my partner at the time, I was running workshops and she'd never used a camera, and I told everyone within 2 hours I can teach someone who knows nothing about photography how a camera works and how to do off-camera flash, and I did, and she got it. And you know, that's not far off everything you need to know. Of course, you know, you can spend years perfecting this, and I'm always learning new things, but it's diminishing returns. What really matters is the subject matter. A lot of the time, like in this example, it's not how can I get better at my craft, but what will make my craft better. Like I say, in YouTube, it's not better cameras, it's not better lights, it's not better audio. What will make my videos better is understanding how to teach you, my audience, photography better. That's what's going to make this better. In your photography, it's very rare that getting better at the actual technicalities of photography will improve it. So what you need to do, and this is important, you need to work out what it is you're lacking. So for me, for a long time in my food photography, what I was lacking was the cultural significance of my food. I just shot any food going. And it wasn't until the sort of lockdown that I went, well, actually, do you know what? The food I know about, I come from like a working class family. I know about working class food. I don't know about fancy fish and fancy steaks and whatever it may be. I don't know that, but I tell you what I do know, baked beans on toast. What I do know is a crisp and jam sandwich. Those are the things I know, and those are the things I need to learn more about. So I did a deep dive through documentaries, like social studies, trying to understand what it is that makes working class food working class, beside obviously the price point, which in my childhood was very helpful. I didn't realise not everyone had Saturdays. I didn't realise that not everybody had sandwich Saturdays instead of meals. I just thought that was a national dish, but there we go.